Hello, everybody, and welcome back to CLX Foundry Live, where we scratch that itch for building some amazing PCs. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX, and of course, joining me live from our studios in Wichita, Kansas, it is our lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and today's master builder, Zach Killingsworth. Hello, gents.
Hello.
Got a big box there. You know what also was a big box? The computer that somebody maybe will be winning at the end of the month. Let's talk about it real fast. As you know, we've teamed up with our friends over at Beacon to create an amazing bundle that is going to definitely set you apart from other content creators if that's where you're going with it. It features a Beacon Mix Create and a Beacon mic, and we have teamed up to do this with our friends over XPG and Fantex, as well as A-Data. So we're really excited to see who ends up getting this bundle. The way that you can enter it is type !GiveHorus, and you'll see a link. Follow the link, follow the instructions, and then follow your heart's desires. You can also find codes in various different places, including our chats here. Today's codes will be on the green side. And also, you can find them across our social media. That's YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at CLX Gaming. You might even find them inside of our Discord. That's discord.gg/CLX Gaming. You could also find them on my streams on the purple and the green. So definitely get up in it. Let's see who's going to win this thing. In the meantime, we've got a project for our friend Rich in Pennsylvania. Guys, what are we doing?
All right, so Rich has configured one of our RAWs off our website. So starting out, we've got the Intel Core i7 14700KF. To cool that, we've got our CLX Quench 360mm AIO. And for our motherboard, we've got the ASRock Z690-C. This does have onboard Wi-Fi, and it's the DDR4 version. So our memory, we've got 2 sticks of G.Skill, 16GB DDR4 3600 Trident Z Neo in RGB. And then for our storage options, for our main drive, we've got a Samsung 2TB 990 Pro NVMe drive. And then as a secondary storage, we've got a Seagate 2TB HDD. For our video card, we've got the RTX 4070. We've been using this model specifically a lot recently. This looks really good. And then on top of that, we've also got a sound card from Creative Labs, the Sound Blaster Audigy RX71. And for our case, we've obviously got the O11 Dynamic XL in black. We're gonna have 10 Game DS Aeolus case fans on here.
Nice.
Those fans are RGB as well in black, the ones that we like to use here. And then for our power supply, we've got an EVGA 1000 GT. It's a 1000 watt 80 plus gold fully modular power supply.
Oh my goodness, is that an early bird? That is an early bird code right there. It is Horus-4B2A. 75 people get to get it. That's 100 entries extra for 75 of you. So grab that now. 4B2A. 4B or 2A to B. No, that's not how that works. All right, now we're pulling this apart. This is an O11 XL. So this is a little bit different than the last O11 we did, which was the mid-tier. This is a full-size RAW, similar to mine. What are some of the cool features about this this case?
So my favorite thing about this case is we've got 2 HDD storage bays. You can also fit 2.5-inch drives in there as well, but they are hot swappable. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but behind this cover here that we're gonna get off, we've got our cables for these bays. And so we plug those in. That way, if you ever need to add a new drive or swap one out, you don't have to run any extra cables. You just put the drive in the tray and slap it in, and it will connect.
Let's see here. Chili Sam has a great question. It is any reason you can give us why the sound card? And I mean, that's their choice, but at the same time, this is a great sound card for when it comes to recording. So it does 7.1 out, and it also has a really great recording set of software and components. So I mean, that could be used for anything from home theater to extreme gaming. Maybe they're doing music production. Maybe they're doing music production for video games. there's options.
The possibilities are endless.
Speaking of things that are endless, we are endlessly loving our ASRock Phantom, the ASRock Phantom Gaming motherboard. Let's take a look and see what this is. This is the Z690 Phantom Gaming 4. Now, this is a DDR4 build for this. And it doesn't come with a built-in IO shield, but we'll get that taken care of. As you take a look across that IO shield, as he's holding that bar up, the very top is what we call a PS2 port. Now that is reversible, so you can plug in legacy mouse or keyboard in the event that you need to. Obviously, USB 3.2 and two 3.2 Gen 2s, one Type A, one Type C down in the lighter blue. You got 3 USB 2s and an Ethernet port plus your Wi-Fi 6 and basic audio out. Now you can see with the basic audio out on this board, that's a great example of one of the reasons why you might want to add that sound card.
Correct.
Alrighty. Up next.
14th series.
Nice. All right. Now, this is a great thing I'm seeing. We're seeing a lot of the 14th gen. Obviously, they just came out. This is an i7 14700KF processor. Paul, what can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so this is a 20-core, 28-thread processor. So how that's broken down is it has 8 P cores, also known as performance cores, and those have hyper-threading, so we get 16 threads off those 8 P cores. And then on top of that, we've got 12 E cores, also known as efficiency cores. So that's how that breaks down. It's got a base speed of 3.4, and it'll boost up to 5.6.
Nice. Bull Moose Entrapment over on the green side asks, do you still get Dr. Spitzo with the Sound Blaster? I do not have that information. In fact, I'm going to be honest, I don't even know what that is. But I can certainly find out, possibly.
I don't
have to
know
look up
either,
what
to
that.
be honest with you.
Yeah. Is it a software? Is it a show?
Might be software that comes with it.
Software for making a show. Nice. It is a software. It is a computer program. Oh, right. Well, interesting. I've not heard of this, but that's nice. I do not know if that comes with it in the box or out of the box, but I now know what it is, so that's good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, we like to keep our units cool, and by doing that, are you going to be using an AIO? This is a Celix Quench 360 AIO liquid cooler. So, Paul, why do you think that a large portion of the industry has flipped from the previous air coolers to liquid coolers?
So liquid cooling has always been pretty much superior. I mean, there's some edge cases where, you know, a large air cooler could outperform like a 120 AIO, but in general, your AIO or any liquid cooling is going to cool better than an air cooler does. Now, they've gained a lot of popularity because they've made it so easy to install these. So whatever size you get, it's going to come with usually 4 different sets of hardware for all the different chipsets there are. And I mean, you can see Zach's he's already got the AIO installed. I mean, these are even if you've never done this before, it's very easy to figure out what hardware you need and to put it on there.
Shout out to Loco209. What's up, bub? How are you? And Elm's like, oh, here, look, it's a turkey build. Absolutely true. So, and we hope everybody has an incredible Thanksgiving as well. So, question from Chili Sam over on the Purples. Is there a reason not to go higher than the base clocking with CPUs? Good question.
Yeah, so the main reason to do that is just added longevity to your system. Obviously, if you overclock your system, it's going to produce more heat, which can cause a little bit more wear. Now, if you've got a good AIO and a good cooler that can cool it well, you know, you're probably not going to, the amount of wear that's going to be on there from overclocking is pretty negligent. That being said, that's probably the most common reason to leave it at the out-of-box speeds. Sure.
Celestial Aethers asked, no turkey costumes? I mean, I have a giant chicken. Does that count? Okay, there we go. That's the last time we'll do that. Up next, we are going to, what are we putting in there next?
We're going to go with the memory next.
All right. So as far as the memory goes, again, this is a DDR4 board. So we're going to be using 2 16-gig sticks of G.Skill DDR4 3600. So that's a total of 32 gigs. Pop right in there. Oh, yes. And Ken Sue mentioned I had an incredible Thanksgiving last month. We're Canadians. Got it.
Nice.
Legendary Hawk, how's it going? Good to see you, my dude. Heedless TV asks, is Affirm no longer a checkout option? That I do not know.
It should definitely be a checkout option on there. Now, sometimes depending on your region, it'll be a different version of the financing option. So Catapult's one we use, Bread's one we used before, Affirm is one. So there should definitely be an option for you on there.
And I don't know whether we have a specs command right there, but that is linked to the build, so you can see what we're putting inside of it, which is great. Speaking of things that are going to go inside of it, that little bitty skateboard ramp is actually a 2 terabyte Samsung 990 Pro NVMe M.2, and that's a really fast drive. I love it. Okay. Next up, Rebel, welcome in. Doing well. And of course, anybody in the chat, if you have questions of any kind, whether it's about this build, other builds, or your own build, please feel free to throw those in. We will get those answered as quickly as possible. What's for Thanksgiving? I haven't the faintest idea. I know that I'm going to my mom's for a little bit, but yeah, Kevin's on calling at the hospital all week, so it's like, all right, well, whoops. I'm on dog duty. Creepy Old Man says, I'm going to buy some VKB sticks for Star Citizen. Ooh. I really want to know what a VKB is. Virtual keyboard sticks? I'm not sure what VKB is. Elman's in the house on the green side. Hello, welcome. Hi, Tishio. What's going on? Been a minute. All right, now we're getting these fans all tied on here. Paul, what is the best way to cool your AIO, and how do you know that you're putting everything on the right side of it?
Yeah, so the preferred method for installing fans on your AIO is going to be the push method, which is how we have these oriented. So we're going to be pushing air, sorry, Zach. We're going to be pushing air through the radiator. Air is going to be coming into the fan, out the back, and through the radiator. Now, if we had these on the other side, that would be the pull method. It's fine to do it that way. You're just going to get a little bit more performance out of doing it this way, pushing. There are some cases where you have to put it in a pull orientation. Nothing to worry about there. But if you do have room in your budget and room in your case, you can do the push-pull, which is having fans on both sides, and that provides the best cooling, but it's pretty rare to see. We don't do it that often. So installing them in the push method, you can look at the back of your fan to see where the grill is on it. I'll show you on this. So right here, this is our fan grill, kind of this ugly side. 99% of the time, that means that's your exhaust. So that's where the air is coming out. So that's just a quick way to reference which way the air is going into your fan and coming out. Well, there are some higher end fans that we've used on the show before that you can buy them in different orientations. That way you're never looking at a fan grill, but they're still blowing properly. But those are really high end. If you're an enthusiast, you probably already know about those.
Itakizo, I hope I said that right. Apologies if I mutilated your name. Asks, is it true that there's some settings and graphic settings that should be low in order to help you playing games, and some tricks even if you have a high-end PC?
Each game is going to have all sorts of options, so I would say that statement is generally true. There's all sorts of different tweaks you can do in there to get better performance. Whether, like for me, I care most about my frame rate over like how the game looks as far as resolution goes. So I will always drop my resolution so that I can get my 144 frames to match my monitor.
Yep. I'm a racing gamer. I turn the crowd off. That helps significantly. If you play like racing games and there's a crowd around the track or whatever, all that has to be generated, and you save a lot of performance by just turning that off.
I always turn off the film grain and motion blur because they're problematic. And if you need to lower something, like I have a 1440 monitor, there's just some games that play better at 1080 because I'd rather have, like Paul said, a higher FPS. There's also a default graphics setting in Windows that I was just showed today that has that allows you to do game mode for it. So a couple more questions coming around. So Good question, Ken say on the green side. On a push-pull, do the fans have to be the same or just ideal?
So you're going to get a couple different answers from different enthusiasts all over. Now, they don't have to be the same. However, it is very recommended that they be the same.
Because if fans, correct?
Mm-hmm. Fans on a push-pull.
Yes. If you have some fans that spin faster, even at the same RPM, they are pushing more air, and they could force the slower span to spin faster, and that could burn the hub up in that fan.
Absolutely. And I'm glad I got it right. Let's see here. Yeah, motion blur is gross. Yes. It's one of those things. Eamon Khan, it'll happen eventually. Just you wait. Okay. Now, obviously, we're getting that. That is the IO shield. Zach, when it comes to popping those things in there, what are some best practices, as well as how do you know that it's in correctly?
Yes, so this one on the HDMI port and on the LAN port had a little tab. You want to fold that up to where it's smushed against the IO shield. That just prevents it from accidentally getting slid into your port on your motherboard. And then just make sure that the audio ports are down. Audio is always on the bottom of motherboards. And then I start on one corner and then just kind of work my way around, making sure that everything is nice and smooth, and then just check the long edge to make sure that it is fully seated.
You should get like a satisfying pop or like a click when you get it in there. So.
Gotcha. Let's see here. Legendary Hawk has an interesting question. It says, was it better back in the day having dual graphics cards, or does that not matter? Like Crossfire.
Yeah, so that's pretty much gone now. The SLI or Crossfire or whatever they were, NVLink, I think is what they were calling it with the 10 series. Yeah, that's pretty much gone now. These graphics cards are just so powerful. From a builder's perspective, I kind of miss the look of having like 2, 3, and 4 graphics cards in a system. That was always cool, but honestly, you got to have a pretty big power supply for that, and you can run into a lot of issues. So it's probably best that we're just down to the 1 card per system.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's one of those, I could add another 3090, or I could just, cover the difference and get a 4090.
Yeah.
But adding 2 3090s, having 2 3090s would be super weird. Just like, I don't know which one to look at first.
Yeah.
Rebel here says, my laptop has heat issues in my lap while playing. I tried changing thermal paste and undervolting too, but it occurs again. Any other suggestions?
Let me see.
Laptop.
Yeah, if you've redone your thermal paste, I mean, you could always do it a 3rd time just to make sure you got it on the right spots and everything. But maybe you got a fan that's not spinning right. You could change that fan. But for a heat issue, it's really, it's just a few things, honestly.
You can get one of
dust in your fan, maybe.
You can get one of the little riser tablet things that you set your laptop on, and it is just more fans.
Has built-in fans on them.
Yeah, it might just need, if it's a little bit of an older computer, it might just need a little bit more oomph behind it.
Chili, that's hilarious. 4 4090s on top of each other means no anti-sag, right?
It's a lot of reinforced PCI slots.
Yeah.
IMCR22 asks, are you guys engineers?
Nope.
I wanted to be a mechanical, but I can't do math.
Yep.
Yeah, math.
If you want to give us a fancy title, we'll be technicians.
Yep. I will say one thing you could do. They have those, they're gel lap pads, and they're designed for supercooling and dispersing heat from your laptop. You can also get like these, they're basically plastic trays you sit your laptop on that have fans underneath it that continue to rotate the air through, and they legitimately do help. So yeah, and don't use blankets or anything. As much clearance as you possibly can. You remember my 40 series, the 4000 series Radeon? Yeah. Back in the day. So, Tilsy, let me go ahead and pop that. Oh, there we go. There's the specs for this build right there. Right? It is. It's kind of ironic that you get a laptop, but you can't use it on your lap.
I remember the first time I had to get one of those little lap pads was back in original Lich King. I took all my graduation money and bought a gaming laptop with it so I could sit on my couch and play WoW. It's good times. Yeah. But it got real hot, that's for sure.
I had a big 17-inch HP Media Center laptop, and that thing just got scorchingly hot. It's probably why it doesn't work anymore. So yeah, it's basically a desktop. Yeah, basically. I use a cooling pad with both of my laptop fans at full speed. Well, there you go. T-Hogs asks a great question. If I wanted to buy a high-end server from you guys, where would I go?
Yeah, call my man Bill. We'll get you hooked up.
Yep, we do quite a few high-end servers, so if that's something you're interested in, you know, reach out to us. We can definitely get something going for you.
Reciprocate, welcome back. Glad to have you.
Okay.
And most likely, Zach's going to be building that high-end server.
So that's more of the server guy.
Serverman Cam.
What is the biggest server you've ever built?
We've done some big ones.
My brain oozes with this one. It had 28 20 terabyte hard drives in it.
Oh my God.
And it had it was a dual tier server. So like I could unscrew some screws and slide the motherboard out so that I could fit more hard drives underneath the motherboard. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was all in one case,
Yeah,
right?
it was
All of those hard
that
drives?
was all one system.
I get the engine hoist out to move that one around.
Yeah, that was built on a cart and left on a cart.
Yeah.
The thing was heavy. But the day Sabian checked, all the drives were plugged in. Oh,
Yeah.
that was sick.
Chili Sam, that's like more than 40 terabytes.
Oh yeah.
That is a lot more than 40 terabytes.
Yeah, Jason, I was on the wrong scene. That was totally my bad.
I like that.
Okay. Where's Ivory? Lurking around. So, Pebbles asks, what would be a good beginner GPU? One that is a fair price and is still capable of handling good games.
3060, 4060. That's hands down my recommendation for a beginner GPU there. One of those.
Absolutely.
Fits in pretty much every case. Yep. Yep.
Or 770.
Mm-hmm. Fits in most cases. Usually you're just going to have one power connector. Easy to install. Don't need an anti-sag bracket. And it's going to give you good performance.
Right? Come to 40 terabytes and walk away. Look, math is one of those things where everybody's got that thing that they're good at. That is not my, like, situational math I can do. If it's for like a project, then I'm fine with it. You ask me to sit down with a piece of paper and write a proof and show you how I got that answer, you are going to be sitting there for a long, long time.
Quick math.
And what really sucked is because in math class, especially in like my Algebra 2 classes, I got the right answer. I just got there the wrong way. And then I wouldn't get it right, or I'd get half credit. I'm like, but the answer's right. Yeah, but you didn't do it the right way. But it can't be the only right way if I still got the answer. Like,
it's more than one way
to skin a cat. There's a lot of mental gymnastics going on there. Okay. lot of cats getting in math. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Emil. If you got there, you got there.
We were in this, there was like a new curriculum when I was in high school, and so it was called like integrated math, and it was instead of doing like your algebra and a trig, geometry and all that stuff, it was like all word problems. And
Timmy's got 47 watermelons.
yeah, it was some crazy stuff, but we all just passed because it was like a new thing.
Yeah. Okay, now we're getting those cables all bundled up in the back. Getting the initial cables set up is really important when it comes to organizing how your cable management is going to go. Zach, what are some best practices for determining what goes where and in what order?
So I like taking care of the case first. It just gets the base cables that are stuck there out of the way. And then we do have a mod power supply, so that will help later on too once we get to the power cables. But I usually just like to take them in little steps, or I work on one section, get it taken care of, and then work to the next. It just, for me, makes it a lot easier to be able to troubleshoot if anything goes wrong. I can easily just separate out the cables that I need to work with. Yeah.
Yeah, remember when they said they couldn't have access to a calculator? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when we had to have the big giant calculators.
TI 86 or 84, whatever it was.
Yeah, I have one of those. I had to get it for math. I will never use it. It's just sitting in my room somewhere, collecting dust.
You can put Pod Racer on there. There's like all sorts of games you can put on them.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's pretty great. I saw a little bit higher up, same question for CPU. I would recommend i5 Ryzen 5. Pick that i5 family, pick one in there that's in your budget that you think looks good. Same for Ryzen 5. If you want to go AMD, do that. Intel, go i5. Pairing one of those with a 3060 or 4060 is a great combo to start with.
I'm flying to CLX to remove all black zip ties from the office.
Come on in.
Cass says, I like how it's looking so far. I absolutely agree. You bought a calculator for an exam and lost it the next day? That sounds about right. Yep. It took me so long to figure out how to even use the darn thing. Like, God. T-Hogs has got a question. What kind of cases would you guys make if you had the resources? Better question, what would they look like?
I'm a pretty practical person when it comes to case, so I am cool with cutting out a flat piece of wood and drilling holes and mounting everything that way. So I wouldn't need a lot of resources to come up with a case.
I would bring back to 2000s. Just acrylic sidewall with a fan on the side.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
I'm kind of digging this Death Star idea. Use a magnetic ring on the bottom to make it just magnetically levitate.
Maybe like a Lego case. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, no, that would be fun until you melt your Legos.
Yeah, I've seen wall-mounted systems where they mount
I like
onto
those.
a plywood and have it on.
I do like that.
It's pretty good look and work.
Yep.
But wait, Wobbly Rick says, okay, $1 million. I'm sleepy. Yes. It's all stood cold for you. Yeah, it's getting ironically really cold here in Oregon. Been getting down near freezing again.
Yeah, it's cold today here.
Right? Shirley says, yeah, the Lego case is fun until you step on it. Then you're gonna drop kick it, and it's gonna be a bad.
Yeah.
Any plans on getting the 011 Vision case for a build?
Not that I know of, but it wouldn't surprise me if we had some show up. We've always got a lot of...
So what exactly is an O11 Vision?
It's like the brand new model, right, for O11. There, I feel like we're always got new O11 models coming out. I think it eliminated... So if we're looking at this one right here, I think they're kind of going with, so this post is gone. So you have like your front and side panels meeting up like an NV5, NV7.
Ah, gotcha.
I'm sure there's some other differences on it as well, but that's probably like visually the biggest difference.
Yeah, wow, that thing is glass on 3 sides.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like you basically got 6 in and 1 exhaust. That seems unbalanced. But it does look cool. Oh my gosh, you can put so many fans in there. That's wild. Top panel is glass as well. Yeah, that's what I was noticing, which I would imagine might create some problems with heat. If there were any codes, they certainly aren't for 100 people. God dang it. Okay. And one of the nice things about those 2 big black boxes, as Paul was talking about, they are hot swap bays, which means that you can pull the drive in and out as necessary. It does lock in with a screw. What are some good some usage scenarios for hot swap bays?
So let's say you've got like a home server and you're just wanting to, you know, pop out a drive and go put it in a different PC, or you've got something in your main PC that you're going to take in your PC that you travel with. You can just pull it out and do that. Obviously, the biggest advantage to me is just not running those cables. It's so, you know, if you add a new drive into your system, you're going to need 2 cables, one for SATA power, one for SATA data. With this, we plug them all in already, even if we don't put anything in those bays. That way, if you, the customer, get this, you can just slap in an extra drive and you're good to go.
Which is always nice. Let's see here. PD Mac, you guys as techs, what would you recommend in cleaning our PCs, external and internal?
So external, we have this, I'll show you just what we use here. We have this can of blow off. This is electronics cleaner. It's kind of like a foam that comes out. If you guys watch the show, you pretty much see me use this every show at the end. Just gives it a good look and it's safe for electronics. On the inside, you can buy different cans of duster. If you're a technician yourself and you're looking for something to save you some money so that you're not going through a bunch of cans of duster, there's vacuums and blowers that are specifically made for electronics that you can use. So, you know, there's quite a few options out there.
Yeah, I use compressed air. Static, obviously static free. Or anti-static compressed air. Which is actually, oh yeah, no it is, it's just duster. It's the same thing.
There you go.
Looking like, where's it at? There it is. Chili Sam, you're hilarious. I'm not adult enough to not giggle at blowing a clean case. Sometimes I regret reading things out loud. Okay. Now we already got our Sound Blaster card in there.
Correct.
And as far as that works, how does that connect? Is that connecting directly to the motherboard? And is that used more as a recording or more as an audio out? Because if with the graphics card, doesn't the audio tend to also go through the HDMI, or do you have to choose one, or can you use both?
So with this, we're going to be using or I assume the customer is going to be using their sound card for their audio out. Now there are other options, and this does go in via PCIe slot here. This is a buy one card, but we have it in that bottom 16 slot because that's just where it makes the most sense. A lot of people don't know that you can do that because the slot looks really long, but the part the card goes into is pretty small. It's totally fine to do that. And then also we've got our case audio cable, this one right here that I'm touching. Instead of running this to the motherboard like we usually do, we have this plugged into our sound card. And that way when we use our case audio, our headset mic on the front, we're using the sound card.
Vicious Kriznik, hey, what's going on? Sasko, welcome in. Oh no. Ruzik's mentioned that waiting on a manager from Geek Squad to call. They messed up my PC. They bent the pins on my CPU.
Oops.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Now, what kind of adverse effect could that have on the functionality of the CPU?
It won't go into the socket.
There you go.
If you're really skilled, you can bend them back, but that's definitely not.
That's a young man's game.
Yeah.
That is a young man's game. I could show you how the old men do it. Let me get my phone out and zoom all the way into 30 power. There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. And Panamas, I agree. That's why you buy from CLX. Let's see here. What are some alternatives to compressed air?
So like the vacuums are probably the other alternative. Honestly, if you're really careful, you can take your side panel off. Make sure you've grounded yourself. You can take a rag and, you know, wipe down some of the surfaces that are there. Obviously, wouldn't be rubbing that onto your motherboard itself. But if you got like a big video card, that backplate likes to collect some dust, you know, that's fine to wipe down. You just want to make sure you're grounded, or just touch the side of the case before you go in there.
Only a couple of pins? Why do heck?
All it takes is one.
Good. Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Thank you.
Dude. So sorry, dude. Very sorry to hear that.
Well, if they did it, they should hook you up at least. Boom.
Yep. Celestial Ether says, I used to do install and maintenance on servers. Server owners were always complaining about their systems not working. No surprise they won't book service for months or years. Then you get there and there's a full-on dust civilization inside paving the way to their own space age.
Sounds about right. I'm going to put these over here, Zach.
Sounds about like my streaming PC.
My PC is pretty dusty itself, but it's cold now, you know? I gotta keep it warm.
Ah, yes.
Be amazing.
Well, at least they're handling it well.
Right.
All right, take a look.
It's like a ground beef video card.
Right?
Let's put it next to you like
It's gonna get to you safe and secure.
Yep.
Now, this has actually been kind of a popular card as of late. The RTX 4070, obviously it's a 12 gig graphics card with GDDR6 memory. Now, this is a lighter card. Also, it only has 2 fans.
Yep, this is the 2-fan model from Asus. I really like this. This is their dual, obviously, for dual fan. But we'll get this plastic off here. This is a really good looking card. This top part of the cooler is kind of translucent so you can see in there. But yeah, really lightweight card. We won't need to use an anti-sag bracket or anything like that for this. And I believe it's just, yep, a single 8-pin power connector, which is awesome.
Also, for those of you who did not see it, there was a 100-person code. It was Horus-K6WS. That is killing 6 wobble storms. I have no idea what else to say. There we go. Do you see a lot of temp differences from a dual or dual to triple fan? Good question.
That is a good question. So, depends on the application. If we're running our benchmarks and just maxing it out, there will be a slight temperature difference. However, once the cards get to a certain temperature, they kind of, they'll like, I don't want to say downclock themselves, but yeah, they'll plateau to where they're staying at a good temperature. So, temperature-wise, it's about the same. However, what one card can do at one temperature might perform better than what the other one can at the same temperature.
Interesting.
It's such a cool
Very
house.
interesting.
Yeah, I like it. I really like it.
That was solid quick.
Okay. So now we're getting that all logged down. Now we do see that up at the very top of the image right here. You'll see that little bar, and that is an anti-sag device for this. It is it, and so Zach, even though it's not a super heavy card, it's it does help with ensuring the stability of it, right?
Correct. So even though it doesn't need it, I'm going to install just in case if our customer upgrades in the future, it's all installed already. They don't have to do any work other than if they get a bigger card, they will probably have to have power. Which, with a modular power supply, that's pretty easy work right there.
Rebel said, I heard this 2 fans are more powerful than 3 fans. How? That's a ball question.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't focus too much on the fan count. Now, I don't know about that statement. I feel like the 3 fan cards are going to be more powerful because they're longer, better heat dissipation, and usually that means they're going to overclock those cards higher from the factory. So, you know, your triple fan cards are going to generally be faster than your 2 fan card.
Yeah. Let's see here. I heard 2 fans. Yeah. Trickster says, thanks. You're very welcome. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
As a quick reminder, oh, there we go. That's our power supply unit. Let's talk about that real quick. That is a 1,000-watt EVGA Supernova, 80+ gold. That is a big baby.
It is. So this is their 1000 GT. There's a few different models that EVGA has for 1000 watt. But this one is fully modular, as you can see, and it's 80+ gold. So we've got all the cables right here. Zach is obviously installing the box with no cables, which is really nice and convenient. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out the cables we need for this build. That way Zach can plug those in and he won't have any extras to bundle up or tuck away or anything like that.
8x4 for the CPU.
Alrighty.
Sorry, I just unplugged my monitors. I'm like, wait,
Oops.
hold on. What's happening? There we go. Putting that all back where it goes. All right, then.
Sweet, sweet.
Now, obviously, EVGA has several different, variants of these power supplies. We've seen them come in white and we've seen them come in black. What's really cool about these is the braided, the braided cables. I really love the look. It looks clean. It's nice.
Yeah, they just overall look good.
Is it easier to work with them when they're braided like that, or just when they're raw cabling?
It depends on the case. I like both because every once in a while the raw cables will be like a flat cable, and then you can, depending on the case and the build, you can lay those out a lot smoother. But I usually tend to like something with a housing like this. It just makes it look a lot cleaner.
Let's see here. Do any manufacturers do cool box art for GPUs? Like back in the day, there were where every component box had some anime character or a dragon.
So yeah, there are quite a few different options now. Gigabyte is one that I saw when we were in Boston for PAX. They had power supplies that had like an LCD screen on the side. So if you had a case where your power supply was in the bottom and you could see the side, you could have a whole animation going, whatever you want on there, which I thought was pretty cool. And it would like cycle through specs, show you how much power is being used, the temperatures, all that cool stuff. So yeah, right now in the PC world, pretty much every component that you can put in this thing, you're gonna have some crazy high-end version of it that probably has a screen you can run a GIF on or something.
Yeah. Yep. My Gundam graphics card, I believe, is a 3090 is the thing that comes to mind. Oh, nice.
There you go.
Nice. All right, now we're getting the rest of this system put together. Yeston literally has a GPU with a cat face. Oh my God. That is bizarre. Now, obviously, the power draw from a 4070 is a lot less than some of the bigger cards. So it is a single 8-pin connector?
Yeah, this one is a single 8-pin connector. I'm sure you could find a crazy high-end version of a 4070 that had more than that, but yep.
The fans are yellow cat eyes. That's terrifying. I saw something blinking at me through the back of my computer, I would probably lose it. That's it. We out.
That's that Halloween build.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, hello, Games and Tech. Let me go ahead and paste that over here for you. This is the link to what we are building. Gives you all the specs in it. Emil's like, I would love that. Now, one of the cool things about the O11s, especially specifically these, is as you can see behind me, they are customizable. So, what are some options you have for personalizing your case if you're wanting to do that?
Yeah, so we can do everything. We obviously have our custom prints that you've seen us do before, that you can just get straight on the website. But if you've got a special design, a brand you're trying to do, talk to us. We can do anything. So, that's just something you got to reach out to us, and we'll work with you and make sure that it's something that will work with our printer and that will look good on the case as well.
Yeah. Yep. Mine is, I believe mine's printed.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep. But they have some really, really cool stuff. You don't want to miss it. Okay. Now, from this angle, you can also see there's a whole bunch of ports on this case. Paul, walk us through what those ports are.
Yeah, so right there on the front, you can see at the top we've got two regular USB ports, and in between those we've got the headset mic/audio port, and below that there's a Type-C. Now, something that does get missed kind of easily on this case is at the very bottom here, we've got two more USB ports. So if you had this on a desk or something, you were trying to hide a cable, you could like kind of sneak it through the bottom and plug it in there and not even notice it.
At least that holding a knife. Yes, also true. Yeah, I've never heard of Geston, but definitely check them out. Emil says, I definitely want to create my own purple horror design, kind of like the Halloween giveaway, and slap it on a PC once I've got the money. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
well,
awesome.
if you would like that design, you can order that by just calling directly into customer service. Yeah, that is still, I think, the most popular one we've had in a long time.
Yeah, that was definitely our most popular design, or at least as far as giveaways and stuff that we've done on the show before.
Yeah. Let's see. You want it so bad? Yeah. Yeah, that was just a beautiful, beautiful design. So are there any certain cases that you can do the design on, or are you willing to work on any CLX case?
So we're definitely willing to work on any of our chassis. Now, that being said, there's some chassis that it just doesn't really make sense on. Some of the smaller ones, probably like a P300, P400, some of the smaller cases where it's like all mesh and not a lot of glass. That's one that we could do. It would just might look kind of weird.
All right, getting the rest of those cables all lined up. As we mentioned, the other way that we're going to be, the other drive that we already put the other drive in, and that was a 2 terabyte, 3.5-inch Seagate Barracuda hard disk drive. Now, Paul, I had Scott Wins, who's by the way in here. Hello. Saw the Evangelion PC build that was a lot of money. Yes. So he had a situation where his hard drive just suddenly jumped to 100% usage, and he couldn't get it to defrag or anything. He lost a whole bunch of his saves for games. What can be done to ensure that doesn't happen with a hard disk drive?
I mean, the safest method to do there is just have a backup. You can have a secondary drive, do a backup, store stuff on the cloud, whatever you want to do.
But is there a way to get that data back?
It could be. It just depends on what the issue is. So there's, if you Google how to get your data back on a hard drive, you're going to get a million different hits of different softwares to use and all that type of stuff. But And I don't really have one that I've recommended. I've never had to deal with that. So,
yeah, you mentioned it was 200 kbs of speed at 100% usage. He was trying to update Dying Light 2. That's what it was. Yep.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before. That's interesting.
Let's hear. Astrid says spin right. That might be I'm not sure what that is.
It's probably a recovery service or program.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. Let us see. Oh, it's a utility that can recover data from any type of magnetic storage device, operating system, or file system.
Nice.
Interesting. But if the platters, if one of your platters comes off the spindle, I wonder if that's still true. Oh yeah, you said it was 30% fragmented. That can be a problem. Ivory. I could walk outside, throw a rock, and it'll land in New York. That is true. That is true. Yeah, that 30% fragmentation. Can you explain what drive fragmentation is and why it occurs?
Yeah, so let's say brand new drive, you download Fortnite, right? And you don't have an M.2 or a type of SSD, so that's on your hard drive. So that's all going to be put, hopefully in order when you do it, but as you update and as things change, maybe you uninstall, reinstall, or just updates get pushed out, that file gets stored on physically different sections of the platter. And so that is, everything's fragmented. So when your computer is trying to, pull that data, it's got to find all those and put them in the right order. So essentially, that's what that is.
Celestial says your best bet is a backup to your backup hard drive, and then hope that they both don't fail at the same time. Yeah, that's an excellent point. So Shasta brought up something, because obviously that doesn't happen on solid states because there's nothing spinning. But Shasta mentioned something called trim for SSDs. What is that?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not familiar with that.
Let's hear it. Oh, PDMac, pros and cons of internal capture cards. Oh, I could answer that one real fast. Because I have had both, but I've used all over media gear now. The benefit of having it internal is you've got faster bus speeds. It's not based on USB, and it is, everything's powered and it's all ready to go. You've got a lot less cabling, a lot less drama, and it's very, very quick, if not seamless, to patch through. Now, that being said, the downside is, in the event that you're going somewhere and you want to take your capture card with you for whatever reason, you can't do that unless you take your whole PC. So, for me, I have a 2 PC setup here in my studio, and I have internal cards. Plus, internal cards can usually can do a pass through that is pretty lagless. Okay, getting those fans on for the. Now these are going to be for the
floor,
back, bottom, the floor. Okay, got it.
These fans are for the floor. These fans are for the
Take a razor and trim down the pins. Dear God, no, please don't do that. Winter, it says, is there a train through New York? I'm pretty sure. I mean, there were trains all over the place. Well, yeah, transit systems all over the place when I was there, but that was in the 90s. I was there for one summer. Was not impressed. Oh, wait, I guess I could. Well, I didn't even realize that was asking me still. So ChatGPT is over here asking me, do you want me to look this up for you? No. Always just weirded out by that. Okay, getting those zip ties down. Now, obviously, these fans are a little bit different than the D30s that we've seen before. And those link up. These all have individual cables. The other thing that has individual cables is the unlimited code that Ivory just put in the chat. It's Horus-GFJI. Girlfriend, Jedi, instigator. There you go. Us goes over here like, I'll take care of that. So, yeah, it's genuinely all talk, not as good as people say. Yep. Ow. That was my knee. Oh, that's why I didn't get my, I don't have my brace on right now. I'm a dummy. Just realized, like, oh, my knee is going different directions because there's no brace on it. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay.
Me and my wife went on a trip to New York many years ago. We just did like a little 3-day long weekend out there, and so I went and saw a Yankees game, which was really cool. Gross. Did all that. But we got the cab. We were wanting to go to Times Square, and it was like close to night. And the cab's like, "Oh, you're here." And they kick us out, and we were definitely not in Times Square. I still have no idea where we were, so we just hopped in a little bar and had a good time. But it was funny because it was like, this is definitely not Times Square. But the cab driver's like, "No, this is it." So I wasn't gonna fight with a New York cab driver, so it's like, all right, we'll get out.
I did find an answer about trim. Trim eliminates any unnecessary copying of discarded or invalid data pages during the garbage collection process to save time and improve SSD performance. The SSD trim command simply marks the invalid data and tells the SSD to ignore it during garbage collection process. That was a whole lot of words, and I am not even sure I understand half of that. Which CLX PC is the very best to have? Ooh, that's a term. I mean, honestly, I think that's more around what you're going to be using it for.
The Halloween giveaway one.
Yeah, that definitely is. But you're going to just sage the heck out of it.
Yeah.
What? Let's go through the list of things that went wrong trying to do shows with that in the studio.
Yeah, all sorts of different power issues, which we actually have not had in a couple
Since
weeks.
It left.
Since that left. Weird. It's actually kind of strange. I don't even know.
That computer was from the Twilight Zone.
Yeah. I saw Satan in the reflection up here, so
Treat the demons right and they'll gift you extra FPS.
That's right.
That sounds absolutely accurate. See how their new house guest is. Celestial Leader says, we'll have to reach out to the winner in a few months and see how their new house guest is.
Yeah.
Wow. That
winner's in Discord. I know, I think she was posting pictures of it set up.
My gosh.
So, you can get updates in there. Or maybe not.
Right.
Account has gone offline.
Yeah.
Let's see here. DJ, have you ever thought about going to the studio and doing an in-person commentary wearing a nice suit and using one of those old school stick microphones? I mean, yeah, I could Bob Barker the heck out of it. It's just that I'm in Oregon and they are in Kansas.
One of these days we'll
This
get needed in
week,
the studio.
live from Vegas.
Right?
Yeah.
Send the Exorcist to check up on them? Yes. Yeah, we're not in Kansas anymore. No! Now, honestly, we've talked about that, but from a logistical standpoint, it's one of those like, that's an expense that we could probably get away with not having to incur. Flight's a tax write-off. That is technically accurate. Okay. And now it is time for our fan controllers, because we have a total of 10 GameDS Aeolus M2 ARGB fans going in, which requires a couple different elements. So Zach, what goes into hooking these up and making sure that we've got everything done correctly?
Yes, so with GameDS, these controllers can hold up to 8 fans apiece with 2 light strips on them. And they have capabilities of daisy chaining. So we're just going to build a little box and have everything connected together so that everything plugged into the first controller, like if the client sets it up to where they have ASRock software, all of it will sync up and all of the fans will be whatever color scheme they're looking at making.
Nice. Nice.
Don't know if I can say this yet, but last time I walked into Sabian's office, they were testing a 10-fan controller.
Really? Nice.
My dream
Watching this whole process has got to be the coolest thing. Oh, grab a rebound. Thank you so much. Glad to have your frame gaming. What's going on? Does this have? Does having this much fans mean the inside will have more dust to clean?
That is a good question. So, short answer is no. So all of our air that's coming in is going to be on these dust filters here. I'll grab one for you real quick. So on our intake sections and all around this case, we've got dust filters. Now, pretty much every one of them is magnetic except for the bottom one because it sits in a tray. So you're going to have this on the side of your case or on the top, kind of in every direction. So you might get a little bit more dust on these filters since you've got more air coming in, but you just got to pop these off and wipe them down. Very easy to clean. Really like these. So there's a couple on the back panel, a couple on the top, and there's one in a tray down here at the bottom.
We got Stewed Island in the house. Welcome in. I'll try not to yell. It seems like last night might have been a little problematic for you. Okay. And then, of course, Zach has a very specific way of connecting all of the fans so that it's easy for troubleshooting.
Yes, I like walking from the exhaust. Whenever I do any fan work, it's always based off of this rear exhaust fan. This is fan number 1. And then I go in a clockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. So if fan number 7 doesn't glow, but it spins, then I know I can go to the port and be like, oh, it's half plugged in, and then it all works, or vice versa. Just it makes it a lot easier to keep everything in check.
Gotcha. PMAC asks, what is the best way to keep your PC cool?
Obviously having the right amount of case fans. You want to have your PC usually on a flat surface or something that doesn't compress too much. You don't want to set it on carpet or anything like that. Like for this case, our main intake is at the bottom. So if we had this on carpet that had a whole bunch of things up on it, you know, that's going to be kind of covering the bottom of our intake and restricting the airflow a little bit. So, you know, flat hard surface is usually where you want to have it on. But other than that, I mean, having the right amount of case fans is going to do it for you.
Frame Gaming says, I have one of these and I have only 4 fans that size. So if I add 3 more fans, it won't make it any dustier?
Depending on the orientation. Yeah. So as long as those fans are behind a dust filter or in front of a dust filter, you know, depending on how you've got them, then no.
Cool. Awesome. Let's see here. And PD, no, we love the questions. The questions are good. It keeps the conversation going, but it's also, if you're asking it, there's a chances are if there's somebody else who just hasn't asked it yet, but it's always useful information. So Stewed asks a great question. What's better, air or water cooled?
Water cooled. You can find some edge cases where an air cooler might be a smaller water cooler, but for the vast majority, water cooling is going to be better than air cooling.
Yep.
Especially getting into the new generation processors.
Okay. One of my favorite things about this case is the fact that it is a 3/4 design. So the motherboard doesn't actually sit on the back of the case. You've got that whole area where it separates your power supply and those two hot swap bays. How does that positively affect the performance of the case, Paul?
So having it separated like this, it allows for some extra components to be on the back side. Like you said, our power supply and our hard drive are back there. And our power supply, the fan is out there facing me and Zach. So the power supply is going to get its own air coming in from that fan that's built in, and it's going to exhaust it out the rear of the case. So none of the heat that's coming from that power supply is going to be in the main body of the case, which is going to equate to a lower temps inside there, which helps out your video card and CPU as well. So that's really the biggest benefit from a practical point of view. The other way is just overall aesthetics. So you're hardly going to see any of these cables coming from the power supply, and it just gives you a nice look on the other side at all the components and everything.
There we go. Nice. You love PCs with fans? They look so cool. Yeah, I agree. I super agree. I dig them. Definitely. And I have 13 fans in mine. So Scott says, just built a Hawthorne PC to see how expensive I could get it. Beast of a machine, though. Yes, they can.
Yeah, those
be.
Hawthorns are very beastly.
Yep.
I'll build it.
Not a
for
lot
you.
they can't do. Yeah, we haven't done a Hawthorne in a while.
I had one literally come out onto my desk like right after I had selected for last week. I was like, ooh.
Oh, no?
I'm like, I wonder if I could build it. It turned out just fine. That was a good one. Okay, I actually...
Okay. Maxed everything out? Yeah, it's so funny to do it, like to just go and play on the website. It's so easy too. Human Proxies in the house? Welcome. Pebbles says 13. They probably cool you off more than anything. Actually, so my radiator is side mounted and I've got 3 on the front and 3 on the back. So I've got a push pull on my radiator to keep it cool. So, yeah. But I have to, like, because I use a green screen, I have to have the green screen pinned to the wall in certain spots because the intake is so strong, it'll just suck the green screen right up against the back of the PC, which is hilarious. PD Mac, we're going to do another one in December. But this contest will be over at the end of the month, and of course, our first stream after that will be the day we announce our winner. So, always want to keep an eye out for that. And my birthday is going to be on a Wednesday. No, that's a lie. My birthday will be on Saturday this year. So perfect. I don't know why I was thinking it was on a Wednesday this year. But, all right, getting those cables left in there. GiveHorus. Yes. Oh, there we go. Yeah, all you gotta do is type GiveHorus. Follow that link, and you'll get right where you need to be. So, Human says, lately I've been getting a lot of heat from the monitors to the point of heating up my room. Any thoughts? Ooh.
From your monitor? You got a plasma screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what kind of a monitor does that? It's not a CRT, is it?
Does it need an update?
Black 27. How dare he lie?
Six of them. Okay, that makes a little more sense.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they really shouldn't be generating a ton of heat, even with 6 of them. You could always just put like a little fan on your desk, you know, kind of blowing behind them to get some of that heat away from them. But I don't think you're going to be able to, you know, reduce the amount of heat that's going there.
Yeah, if you're fanning it, definitely have the fan just pointed straight up, so it's just moving the air away. Don't like try and put it in, like push it anywhere else other than just straight up.
Yeah. Dalton Buckley Gaming, welcome in. Glad to have you there over on the red side of things. Okay, now we're getting the rest of that tie down. We're so close. We're getting so close.
Blink, blink.
Also, make sure that their internal fans are working from what I just read. Oh, gauge reader, that's a good point. DJ, you have more than 13 fans. In the PC?
No.
No, it's just 13. Oh, the one. Oh, actually, you're right. There are 16 fans technically. Because there's 3 on the GPU. Actually, you are very, very right. Well done. I hadn't even considered that. Yep. Blam. That's funny. I still am geeked out over that that Matrix PC.
I'm just staying busy, thanks.
Should be good to go.
There we go. Kraus later says, anybody nice enough to share the giveaway codes that I missed? DDPDX has a ton of fans, I bet. All right, as we are getting closer, the one thing I definitely want to do is to walk you guys through how you can get your hands on your very own CLX gaming PC. At CLX Gaming, we like to try and make it as easy as possible for you to grab the essentials for your PC, and you can shape it around your needs. Whether you're looking for something in a large case or a small case, fast processors or high-end GPUs, we've got everything here that you could possibly think of. Now, you don't have to be an actual professional to put this together, because we have a foolproof way of ensuring that it doesn't, that it's all compatible. In the event that you choose 2 different parts that are not compatible, you set a little green button up top, turn yellow. Let's say solve conflict. So the example I love to use here is if you say you selected a DDR5 board, but you chose DDR4 RAM, it's going to say, all right, this is the boards that will work with the DDR4 RAM you selected, or this is the DDR5 RAM that will work with the board that you selected. Once you solve those conflicts, it'll go back to green, and that will go right on down to testing so that and it won't have any compatibility issues. We've got tons of options here, from extra storage, capture cards, streaming gear. You can get your GPU and your CPU overclocked if you'd like. We have an entire peripheral section that is wild to play in. Everything from routers to routers, speakers, headphones, you name it. We've got Beacon products like wild. Look at that. The Beacon Mix Creates and the combo microphone. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Love them. So, with that being said, you don't have to actually do it that way if you don't want to. We also have dozens of RTS machines, and what we call those is ready to ship. They're already tested, they're boxed up, and they're looking for a new home, and who knows, that home might just be yours. So, for all of your future gaming needs, head on over to clxgaming.com and let us set you up for the future. There we go. So yeah, now I did mention one thing that, Paul, we haven't covered today, and that is, where does this go once it's built?
Yeah, so every machine was the customer build or the giveaway in the back. Once it's built, it goes to our testing and integration department. And so the first thing we do there is get into the BIOS of the machine, make sure our RAM speed's set correctly. All of our storage devices are showing up, so M.2s, 2.5-inch, 3.5-inch drives. And then after that, we'll load the operating system. And if you picked any games on our website, that's where we would load that as well. If you didn't pick any games and you just want a fresh OS, then that's all you get. We don't put any bloatware on our machines. You're not going to get 20 different versions of an antivirus software or anything like that. You're only going to get what you pick. Something we pride ourselves on. We will never use bloatware or anything like that. Then after we've got the system loaded, we'll put the system through a 12-hour burn-in or a stress test. And typically what we use for that is 3D Mark. But there are a couple other softwares that we use. And basically what that does is put the system through its paces, make sure that you're getting a reliable system at home.
Nice. That is definitely part of the fun.
All right, we're gonna get this thing plugged in and, oops, sorry, Zach. If I'll get off the cable, then we'll get it plugged in.
That is helpful.
Yep. All righty.
All right, moment of truth. Here we go. That looks good.
Nice.
That looks really good. I like it. Oh my gosh. Am I streaming tonight? Yes, Celestial Aether. I will be streaming here in a little bit. So let's go back over one more time what is in this amazing PC for Rich in Pennsylvania. This is an 011 or full XL raw machine with an Intel Core i7 14700KF mounted on an ASRock Z690 Phantom Gaming 4 motherboard with 32 gigs of DDR4 3600 RAM and an NVIDIA RTX 4070 graphics card. The 2 terabyte operating system M.2 is also going to be matched up with a 2 terabyte 3.5-inch Seagate Barracuda for the secondary drive. The processor will be cooled by a CLX Quench 360 closed loop liquid cooler and 10 different GameDS Aeolus M2 fans. It's being powered by a 1000-watt EVGA Supernova 80 Plus Gold, and it's coming with a Creative Sound Blaster Audigy PCI RX 7.1. So congratulations to our friend Rich. That is an amazing machine that'll be heading down to testing. So very excited about it. Now, as usual, this show happens in 2 parts. So in a few, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, you're going to spend the afternoon with Zach, who is going to continue building some amazing machines. And then I am going to be streaming this afternoon. So yeah, and you'll get, I'll have a code. So with that being said, you can catch up on all the latest and greatest things going on with CLX Gaming by following us on social media. You may also find codes there. That is CLX Gaming on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. If you'd like to join a really great group of like-minded PC enthusiasts and gamers, all you gotta do is head on over to discord.gg/CLX Gaming. Now, this show happens Tuesdays and Thursdays starting at 11 a.m. Pacific. Tuesdays, we are focused on the green side. Thursdays, we're focused on the purple side. You can watch it pretty much wherever. Now, this Thursday, because of the holiday, we are not having a show. Just FYI, don't panic. But we'll be back in a week on Tuesday for another incredible show. So with that being said, on behalf of Jason and Kyle in production, Paul and Zach, I'm DJ Blue PDX. Don't go away. We've got more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.